Stay tuned after the video for a special announcement.
Gundam Extreme Versus is barely talked about in the West, and it's a real shame because it's the best fighting game on the planet. Thank you, and have a pleasant day. Fighting games. Since the advent of the fighting genre, fighting game developers have searched for a way to perfect a magical combination of elements. It's an alchemy that fuses explosive excitement with cavernous strategic depth, utilizing intuitive mechanics designed to warmly invite new players, while also inspiring seasoned veterans to engage in aggressive and heretical testing of the game's limits. This search will never yield a perfect end, as nothing in this world is truly perfect. However, there are times when these developers create a game that gets very, very close. Today, I'd like to introduce you to one of those games. It's part of a franchise that just celebrated its 10th anniversary, and in actuality, is born from a franchise that preceded it for another decade prior to that. It's a game that's current. You can go play it on consoles worldwide right now. And it's one of the simplest games to pick up and begin learning. It's also got an absolutely unparalleled level of mechanical complexity lying just under the surface. It's a game with a massive roster and unfathomable strategic depths. It's a game attached to a legendary intellectual property. It's a game that's utterly dominated the Asian competitive arcade scene for years.
This is Jiyuna, so I'm back with another quick arcade video, and this time I wanted to show off the most popular arcade game in Japan. So no, it's not Street Fighter 4, it's not Tekken, it's definitely not Guilty Gear. It's this, there it is, it's Gundam, yeah, Gundam Extreme Versus Maxiboost.
And in a time where people talk about fighting games more than ever before, it's a game that nobody in the West talks about. And I think this is a grave mistake. Hey, I'm Everyday Legend. I'm some dude on the internet that's played fighting games religiously for some 30 years or so. And I'm really glad you're watching this video, because today I get to tell you about the greatest goddamn fighting game on the planet. Now, before I get too deep, let me be upfront with you. This video is not a guide, it's not a review, it's not a retrospective. This is just a very dedicated fan telling you why it is you shouldn't sleep on this game with the help of other dedicated fans in the process. I'm gonna set you off from the drop. Gundam Extreme Versus is the best game around right now. I'm serious, don't look at me like that. I'm not joking. Real talk, if you're a fighting game fan and you're not playing this game, you are officially fucking up at life. You might be looking at footage of this game with some hesitation, maybe you have some misgivings, some fears, some doubts. Well, let's dispel some of those right here and now. The first thing you're probably thinking is that this doesn't look like your normal fighting game. You're right, it's not. It's a 2v2 team-based fighting game played in a big-ass field, and most of your tools have ammo counts or cooldown timers attached. The second thing you're probably thinking is that it looks like an anime-based arena fighter. You're right, it is. Gundam is one of Japan's modern cultural touchstones. It's one of the most popular media franchises of all time. Seriously, the only thing America could equate it to in its level of relative cultural relevance is something like Star Trek or Star Wars. Or if you're in the UK, Doctor Who. It's that long running, it's that ingrained into the cultural lexicon of that country.
But I don't like
say some of you, and that's fine. But here's the little truth for you. You don't need to enjoy Gundam to enjoy this game. Like, at all. I mean, me personally, I wasn't a massive Gundam fan until I played Full Boost on PS3. And I only started getting hardcore into the series in general thanks to how unimaginably fun that game was.
Oh, fuck you. With that shit.
Now, the third thing you're probably thinking is that most anime-based arena fighters are games that prioritize fan service over mechanics and competitive balance, and therefore shouldn't be taken seriously. You're right. They probably shouldn't. When you think of third-person perspective anime arena fighters, you usually think of story-focused games like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, or bullshit-focused games like Jump Force. You just spam your most powerful attack from the version of the main character that's furthest along in the story's timeline. You'll do fine. But you see, in X Versus, that shit doesn't matter. A legitimately good player with the shittiest suit in the game can and will turn that amazing looking Beast Mode Supreme Chalupa you picked into the world's most kick-ass looking casket. How come, you ask? Why, you ask? Because the mechanics actually matter in this game. That's fucking why. How strong you are has less to do with what your suit's canonical power level is, and far more to do with how good of a pilot you are, my sweet summer child. It's a massive exception to the established anime arena fighter rule, and as such, it makes X Versus a series that deserves to sit at the same table as the established juggernauts of the fighting genre. It also doesn't hurt that this game is popular. Like, crazy popular. Not over here, but over there? Whoa. The reason for that game's level of sustained popularity has less to do with the popularity of the license and more to do with the health of the competitive scene surrounding the game. And the competitive scene is hooked on one drug above all else. MS Paint memes. Mechanical death. This game is unique in the sense that it's balanced to be played in teams of two, which introduces the requirement of collaborative action in order to truly succeed. Even your most oppressive tool sets have to deal with two potential incoming angles of attack. If you have assists, even more. You need to trust your partner and work with them. It's a game where being a capable player means being a capable teammate. Think about it. In almost every fighting game, individual performance is the defining factor. You win, you lose, whatever. It's all on you. You can join as many Discords as you like, read all the guides, watch all the combo videos you want, or spend years of man-hours in training mode. In the end, it's on you and your own performance. In X Versus, that's still important, but being a good teammate means so much more.
No, fuck that.
It means everything. Being a capable individual player directly informs your potential as a teammate. If you're in a high damage output suit, and you're prioritizing attacking an enemy instead of covering your far more fragile partner,
Oh, shit!
you're almost guaranteed to take an L. And it doesn't matter how much you blame your teammate or where you fell in the post-game score breakdown. If you didn't prioritize your team maintaining a consistent life lead, you were just as culpable for that loss as a sandbagging teammate would be. This forces games to have a much different mindset in play, right from the start. But the thing that really splits this series apart from the pack is how welcoming it is for new players to just pick up and start playing. For example, let's take Street Fighter. You have 6 buttons, right? Okay, each of those buttons does a thing when pressed. That's 6 default outcomes for each input action. without directional input attached. Now add in the fact that these can change when close to your opponent. That's now 12 potential outcomes for each input action. Now add crouch. Now add jump. In each button, there exists the potential for at least 4 different outcomes. Over 6 buttons, that's 24 different normal attacks with specific utility. Now add in command normals. Now add in motion input based specials. Now add in modified/EX specials. Now add in supers. Now add in defensive techniques. Now add in cancels. All of that equals the much lauded ambrosia of
Mechanical death!
Right? But X Versus doesn't need that shit. No complicated motion inputs. No super crazy combo execution skills required.
I have human fingers, and what is that?
Right off the starting block, it's a much more stripped down affair.
How so?
You ask. Okay. Point the stick where you want to go. Bam, you're going there. They coming after you? Stick down, stick up, real quick. Card decline. You getting shot at? Double tap a direction.
Miss me, you bitch.
You feel like actually doing something? There's only 5 buttons in the whole game, and when it comes to actually performing actions, there's honestly only 3. Your shoot button goes pew pew, or depending on the suit. You use the melee button to beat the shit out of people. Different directions on the stick give you different attack strings. You might even have special mid-string directional variants or extra special cancels depending on the suit, but you never have to roll a half circle back to forward to get a move you want.
Out of here!
I mean, look at this. You can literally just BBB for this thing, or BB forward BB for this other thing, or like BB side B for some shit like this, or forward BB down BB to make you feel like you're gonna make some dude's chest cave in. Long story short, you can get a lot of variance out of very little variance. And that's just a refreshing ass concept, honestly. The boost button makes you jump, tap it twice to believe you can fly. Combine this with the aforementioned double tap the stick sidestep maneuver. Okay. Let me stop for a minute and explain something cool here. Cancels exist in every fighting game. This is no different. There are 3 types of cancels that you can perform in X Versus. Natural or direct cancels are actions that naturally chain into one another. A good example of this is shot to sub-weapon cancels, which are almost always universal and free to perform. The other 2 types of cancels are based on the boost button and its related meter down here at the bottom of the screen. Boost is refilled on landing, and the speed of the refill depends greatly on how much of it you've used. TLDR explanation, just land in yellows. I have a video detailing the frame counts on landing refill times, justifying precisely why you should do that. It's really easy to understand. Boost dash canceling allows the player to cancel out of almost any action. There are some actions that are hard commits and they can't be canceled, but those are somewhat rare. Anyway, you can boost dash cancel shots repeatedly as a means of chaining them to hit in rapid sequence. You can boost dash cancel melee hits. You can also boost dash cancel ranged attacks that would leave you stationary and therefore vulnerable. So long as you have the meter to spare, you can freely bail out of most commitments. You don't want to go into overheat state by burning it all out, because that's like slapping a kick me sign on you, except you've slapped it on your mouth. Then there's using side steps to cancel out of things, which is called step canceling. You can cancel out of melee hits with it. It's a primary component of extending melee combo strings. Sidestepping out of melee hits, both empty, non-hitting, and hitting, gives a rainbow effect, and it burns a lot of boost. As it uses a sidestep, it also breaks tracking on incoming attacks, which means you can remain unhit while dealing high amounts of damage. But since it uses way more boost, it's far less abusable than the cheaper but less safe boost dash cancel option. You can also use boost dashes into short hops to gain greater distance for a lot less in terms of meter cost. You can also use steps and rainbow steps to chain into hops that'll get really fast distance traversal in exchange for much higher meter cost, which is useful in emergencies, but it can leave you vulnerable as hell. You can't step cancel shots though, unless you've chosen S-Burst and you've activated it. Then you can freely cancel any ranged attack into any other ranged attack, as well as step cancel any ranged attack, but only while the buff state is active. Listen, there's a lot more to discuss, and we could really be here all fucking day, but this little side note alone kind of proves the thesis point of the entire video. Anyway, back to your original scheduled programming. And you too can come in through the window with the sound of a crescendo. You want to do some other shit? Okay. Press 2 of the 3 at once. Check it out.
Rocket launcher.
Oh shit, it's whatever the fuck this wacky shit is. Oh shit, it's a death ribbon. Oh shit, someone gave Spider-Man a chain gun and a machete. Oh shit, call homies. Lots of fucking homies. God damn it, the homies. You want to become a walking death threat? Hit all 3 when you got some meter and... And then you can shoot at them like... Or you can break out of a combo string like...
Psych! That's the wrong number!
And you can come up on them like... And what? Or you can put it all together like... Oh my wa moshide!
Motherfucker!
Oh yeah, there's also a button to change who you're targeting, which is low-key the most important button in the game because it does a lot more for your traveling vectors and boost meter consumption than you'd assume it would, but I won't get into the specifics right here and now. And there's also a button dedicated to sending your partner status updates. And there's a large collection of preset messages that you can use to passive-aggressively make your teammate feel like shit. Tell your teammate to do their fucking job. Communicate your current status or strategy goals to your partner. Honestly, this game gives you so many ways to poison the well of positive working relationships with the entirety of the online player base, it's really something to behold. Real talk, if you think combos are scary and the idea of motion inputs make you get motion sickness, then this game will make you happy because it has none of that shit.
Yay.
TLDR for a COD, this game fuses simple control mechanics to a combat system that allows for truly mind-blowing levels of tactical depth, giving players the ability to exercise amazing degrees of self-expression through play. Listen, there's a lot to dig into that'll honestly overwhelm you if you're not prepared for it, and this game isn't the deep end of a swimming pool, it's a goddamn ocean. Which means you can dip your toes in and wade as far as you want to into the water. There's plenty of fun to be had waist deep, and the game will absolutely cater to you at that depth, so this is an incredibly worthwhile purchase for beginners to the fighting game genre. However, if you decide to go further in, better put on your shark fighting face because there's some seriously nasty shit you're gonna find the further you go. And if you decide to go all Mariana's Trench on it, you'll find things that can only be described as eldritch horror. There's entire channels dedicated to players displaying some of this Cthulhu-level shit, and believe me, it will scar your motherfucking soul. Anyway, if you're thinking of getting into fighting games or just want to try them out, you should honestly give Gundam Extreme vs. Maxiboost on a shot. If you're into fighting games and you're not playing this game, you're doing yourself a grave disservice. If you don't like this game, well, that's totally fine. You're free to do so, and I wholeheartedly support your right to be wrong. Hey everyone, thanks for making it to the end of the video. It took a ton of time to make, so I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please consider liking, subscribing, leaving a kind word or two. It will definitely help this channel grow and be capable of so much more. Big thanks to these fine fellers who helped me craft a lot of this bespoke custom footage for it. And speaking of community effort, it's time for the big announcement. As some of you may know, I spearheaded a community-written guide project for Reborn, which came out back when the game first released in July of 2020. I've heard from a lot of people on Twitter, the Gundam X vs subreddit, Extreme Evolution, and more, that this guide really helped them learn more about the game and that it sped up their ability to perform better in matches due to it laying bare what was often hidden under layers of unclear mechanics, language barriers, and more. The only problem was that it's a 94-page Google Doc, and in the 21st century, nobody wants to wade through a fucking novel to find answers. So I'm here to let you know, I hear you, loud and clear. Henceforth, let it be known that the guide has been reworked, revised, and reborn in its new home, GundamGuide.com. The big kicker is this. Thanks to this being a fully functional web application powered by Vue, we can now have an easily navigable training manual designed to work comfortably on every device and screen imaginable. So, players of all skills can now find it easier to level up than ever before. It's also going to be expanded, and that's where I need your help. My goal is to have a site that replicates the core functionality of the game's Holy Bible, the Japanese Wiki. To that end, we'll be building a complete guide for each suit in the roster, and we need your help to do it. We're looking for highly invested players that have interesting tips and information to share about their favorite suits. And we want to make sure you're credited for what you contribute. If you're a subject matter expert on 007 Sword, share the wealth, and be acknowledged for bringing something good to fellow players that were looking to better know your favorite suit. The site will also be a constantly updated repository of the community itself, meaning that the content creators, the other guides, other sites, and all the many Discord servers that have served as the treasure troves of information that made this guide possible in the first place will be permanently linked and easily browsed by people looking to dive even deeper into the world's greatest fighting game. If you're interested in helping us build this out, reach out to me on Discord. I'm very easily found at Extreme Evolution, New Type Academy, GN Resonance, and my own home base, the Basement Roadshow Discord, which you should totally join. I'm also going to join the 21st Century proper and announce that I'm opening up an OnlyFans, and announce that I'm opening up a Patreon in case you want to see more stuff like this in the future, and as a patron, you'd have an actual say in the kind of content that gets made. No wacky ass tiers, just donate what you want. I'm still figuring out perks, probably a separate donor exclusive channel, definitely donor exclusive polls on what sort of videos get made in the future. Donor exclusive play sessions are definitely an idea. Who knows? I'm new to this and I just want to have more fun because holy shit, the COVID apocalypse sucks and it's almost ruined fighting games as we know it. Anyway, if I've given you a new game to fall in love with, awesome. If I gave you a reason to try this game again to see what you missed, awesome. If I gave you a video to convince your friends to play this game, awesome. If you're said friend and you're buying Reborn now, awesome. If you're a fan of our work and want to donate to this newfangled Patreon thingamadoo, absolutely fantastic. Thank you kindly. Important note, the guide is not part of Basement Roadshow. Although I am El Jefe of BRS and the chief project manager of said guide, so if you want to just support further development on the guide by way of helping pay server costs to keep its new home online and active, there's a separate Patreon for that purpose. Separation of church and state and whatnot. Remember to be kind, be generous, be welcoming, be seeing you.